If she's going out, it's a deal breaker for me.
Huge red flag. Same
That for me, it's a deal breaker.
I totally agree.
Why is that a deal breaker? Is it because it makes you insecure?
It has nothing to do with insecurity. It's
What
just
is it?
this is a dream world hypothetical scenario. Girls really don't be hitting up guys like this. Would you be okay with your long-term monogamous partner going to a nightclub, bar, or party type environment where throughout the course of the night he's going to get approached, flirted with, and sexually pursued by numerous attractive women, some of which are more attractive than you and could potentially be a better partner than you, and these women are buying him drinks, getting him drunk, and enthusiastically want to sleep with him that night and steal him away from you? You're going to tell me you'd be okay with that?
No, not with that. Definitely no.
So you can see how this can be a little contradictory, because none of you would be okay with it, right? But then you say guys should be okay with girls going out all the time.
We were receiving criticism for saying like it's a deal breaker if a girl's regularly going to clubs without us. That situation that he just described that you guys wouldn't be okay with happening to your boyfriend, that happens to women all the time.
Think about it. Woman getting hit on.
Which is why we're saying we're not okay with our long-term partners putting themselves in situations like that.
And the truth is out for everyone to see. In this video, let's talk about some things that women just don't have the heart to accept. As you saw in the clip shared at the beginning of the video, the premise is that guys don't like their girlfriends and partners going to party in bars and nightclubs. The reason is that whenever girls go out, they dress up and show off and doll themselves up. Throughout their time at the bar or the club, they get hit on by horny, thirsty, and sometimes wealthy or attractive guys. They get hit on by guys out there just to find girls to take home or to a hotel to sleep with. They drink and get drunk, get a lot of energized validation and attention from simps and thirsty guys that massage their egos. And then these girls sometimes get into peer pressure when they see their girlfriends making out with other guys or going home for a night of intimacy. So the debate that comes from women and feminists in this scenario is that girls can be as independent as they want to be, and those guys do not have the right or any sort of say in telling their girls that they don't want them to go out and party if they are in a serious and committed relationship. Whereas guys have been at the receiving end of this for a long while because they ask their women to not reveal themselves and make them available to guys who are inevitably going to approach and pursue them in bars and clubs. If you listen to the clip shared at the beginning of this video, the guys say it's a deal breaker for them if their girl chooses to go out and party while in a relationship. And the girls ask them why that is so. Is it because of some insecurity? To which the guys reply that it has nothing to do with insecurity. In fact, for women, the only way to explain this is to switch places and ask the girls would they be okay with their long-term monogamous partner going to a nightclub, bar, or party environment where throughout the course of the night, he's going to get approached, flirted with, and pursued by women for intimacy by numerous attractive women, some of whom are a lot more attractive than you and could potentially be a better partner than you. These women are buying your partner drinks, getting drunk, and enthusiastically wanting to sleep with him that night and steal him away from you. Are you going to be okay with that? And the girls simultaneously say no. So that's something we're seeing every day. And guys have had to face a lot of name-calling at the hands of feminists for even suggesting that women who are already in serious, committed, and monogamous relationships with them shouldn't go out and party because they're inevitably going to be approached by thirsty guys all the time who are going to be very consistent and persuasive. When guys say something like this, the whole feminist world goes against them and calls them tyrannical, patriarchal, controlling men who just want to control women and stamp their authority onto them. But if the situation is reversed and the guys are going out partying and being approached by women, they would say the same thing and tell them not to. But here's the contradiction, and I guess the hypocrisy. When women say this, they place this in the agenda of loyal wives and partners trying to look out for their men. But if men do the same thing, they're patriarchal, masculine, aggressive men out to gain control of the relationship. This is just one of the many reasons why more and more guys are going their own way and not trusting feminism, because everything it does these days is contradictory and hypocritical. Here's the reality: for any couple to even have a chance at a long-term relationship, they need to have rules. These rules dictate the extent to what each person in the relationship can or cannot do. And this is something that can be entirely different for one couple and something else for another. But there are some universal rules, and that is to keep yourself away from any situations where there are people who are going to want to be with you and sleep with you. I mean, even if a person is the most loyal in the world, even that person is going to break someday when he or she is drunk, when he or she is at a club right after fighting with their partner back home, and when he or she will be approached by someone good-looking and hot and understanding, and who will be so persuasive that he or she will have to spend the night with that persuasive person. What then? The relationship is pretty much over. And why? Because he or she deliberately put themselves in a situation where they were going to be approached, pursued, validated, wanted, needed, and accepted by other people for a couple of hours. Nightclubs aren't what they used to be or what people think they are today. We can all agree on that. When you go to a nightclub, you'll see that there are a lot of people waiting in queues outside to enter. The bouncers keep an eye out to make sure only the attractive girls and the guys who are with attractive women are allowed entry. The strange thing is that everyone appears to believe that the club would be packed with people enjoying a great time inside. The place isn't as packed as it seems from the outside, though, as you enter. And even in the winter, you see women waiting outside with almost nothing but high heels, shivering in the cold, and you wonder why they would go to such lengths for a single night out at the club. Clubbing can be fun if you're in your teens or early 20s. Also depends on where you're clubbing. Just don't try to find a girlfriend there, because women mostly go to clubs to use men to have a good night. Be very careful. Women in their prime go to clubs to live off of the attention and validation they receive from men of all sizes and ages. Young girls who frequent clubs are real crowd pullers too. They raise the level of that club and enable more ticket sales, along with the sales of drinks inside. Since everybody wants to go to clubs that are frequented by young and beautiful girls in their prime, the brand equity of those clubs increases exponentially. There's a whole lot of science behind the idea and concept of nightclubs. They aren't what you think they are. And for guys, the women you find in clubs are exactly the women you should be staying away from. For the women, the guys in a club are exactly the sort of guys you should be staying away from. Both men and women flock to clubs for one thing. Women, for the free attention and validation. The men, for the possibility of hooking up with a vulnerable woman who's just broken up or is out with her friends and doesn't know what she wants to do with her life or with her boyfriend or husband back home. But the fact that she's there says a lot about her. Men have simply had it with women's constant whining and unreasonable expectations. Women don't desire unattractive males. Men are just now starting to awaken and comprehend everything. They don't have time to worry about women who are useless to contact. Women don't seem to understand how generally unfair the game is for guys. And it is quite unfair that when a guy asks his woman to avoid going out to party in bars and nightclubs, which are full of thirsty men waiting for a possibility to approach a woman and pursue her, the whole world goes against that guy and calls him controlling. But when the same thing applies to women, they can't stand the fact that their guy will be outside getting hit on by women more beautiful and hot than her, who will be doing everything they possibly can to sleep with the guy. It's always a two-way street. Women forget that for a committed relationship to work, they need to have some rules, and the rules have to be applied to both the man and the woman, and both need to comply with those rules. The rules can never be such that they're only implemented for men. That's just hypocrisy. Thanks for watching Man Reacts. And as always, thank you guys for liking our videos and subscribing to the channel. It means the world.